All right, let's talk about something that every single project manager has to deal with: conflict. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That tension in the room, the arguments over resources, those endless debates over which direction to take. And it always leads to one big question.
So, what is it? Is it a total project killer, or can it actually be a catalyst for success? I mean, we've all been in those meetings, right? The ones that get, a little heated. It's so easy to walk away from that thinking all conflict is just bad news. But the truth is, it's a bit more complicated.
Yeah, because it turns out not all conflict is created equal. The real secret to managing it, to actually mastering it, is understanding that there are two fundamentally different types of disagreement. One of them actually builds your project up, makes it stronger. And the other, well, it just tears it all down. Okay, let's dive in.
First up, let's talk about the good stuff. Yes, I said it, the good kind of conflict. This is the stuff you actually want to encourage on your team. This is the path that leads to much, much stronger outcomes. We call this functional conflict, and the key word you have got to remember here is performance. It's basically any disagreement that, sure, it might feel a little uncomfortable in the moment, but it ultimately pushes the project forward and makes that final result even better. When you manage this right, oh man, it's like striking gold. It forces the team to really challenge their own assumptions, which sparks creativity. It leads to these really solid, rigorous debates, making sure your big decisions are actually thought through, not just, rubber stamped. And here's the crazy part. It might sound counterintuitive, but working through these tough professional disagreements, it actually builds trust and makes the whole team work better together. And take a look at this. This is a perfect arena for functional conflict to shine. What you're looking at is a work breakdown structure, or a WBS, and debating this stuff, like how exactly do we break down all the work, who's on the hook for which deliverable. These are tough conversations, but they are so essential. A good, healthy argument here ensures everyone is crystal clear on the scope and that the plan is rock solid. See? That's conflict working for the project, not against it. But, of course, there's the other side of the coin, isn't there? This is the kind of conflict that literally gives project managers nightmares. This is the destructive path. And we call this dysfunctional conflict. And again, the only litmus test that matters is its impact on performance. If a disagreement is dragging the project down, creating roadblocks, and just hurting progress, it is dysfunctional. Period. End of story.
And the fallout from this kind of conflict is serious. It demolishes morale. It creates that toxic us versus them environment. People get distracted from their actual work because they're too busy with all the interpersonal drama. Decisions are made not for the good of the project, but to spite someone else or just to make a terrible argument finally stop. And maybe worst of all, it completely shatters the trust that is absolutely essential for any high-performing team.
So what does this look like out in the wild? Well, it's those two senior developers who just have a personality clash and flat out refuse to collaborate. It's the power struggle where someone says, "I'll remember this when I'm a VP." Yikes. Or it's that constant tension you see in matrix organizations, where a team member is caught between the demands of their project manager and their department head. These are all classic signs of dysfunction. And this right here perfectly illustrates the stakes. A project network like this one is a finely balanced system of dependencies. When a dysfunctional conflict erupts, say a personal fight over who gets a key resource, it doesn't just affect those two people. No way. It can cause a cascade of delays that puts the entire project timeline at risk. One toxic argument can jeopardize the whole system.
Okay, so if you have these two powerful forces, one that creates and one that destroys, what's the project manager's role in all of this? Well, it's to be the guide.
And here is the single most crucial point to take away. As a manager, your job is not to eliminate all conflict or to make sure everyone is happy all the time. Look, people can be upset during a tough, functional debate. That's fine. The only question you need to constantly ask yourself is this disagreement helping or hurting the project's performance? This table just puts the difference in sharp relief. Just look at the focus. Functional conflict is always about the what, the project's goals. But the second that focus shifts to the who, to personal feelings and animosity, that's when it becomes dysfunctional. And that one shift directly impacts the outcome. One enhances performance by solving problems, while the other distracts from it by creating them. So this understanding translates directly into your core responsibilities. Think of your job here as a three-step process. First, you've got to be vigilant and identify what kind of conflict you're seeing. Second, create an environment where healthy, functional debate isn't just allowed, but actively encouraged.
And third, you have to step in quickly and decisively to manage and shut down dysfunctional conflict before it poisons the whole team.
To wrap all of this up, I want to leave you with a really powerful metaphor for how to think about conflict on your projects. You see, conflict itself isn't inherently good or bad, it's just energy. It's a force that exists within any group of passionate, engaged people. The difference between success and failure is often whether you, as the leader, know how to channel that energy. And here is the best way to visualize it. Think of conflict like fire. A controlled, functional fire in a blacksmith's forge is intense. It's hot, but it takes raw metal and reshapes it into something strong and valuable. That's your project thriving on healthy debate. But an uncontrolled, dysfunctional wildfire is also intense and hot, and it just destroys everything in its path. One creates, the other devastates.
So the final question I want you to take away is this. Look at your team. Look at the disagreements that are happening every single day. As a leader, are you the blacksmith, skillfully using the heat to forge value? Or are you just running around fighting wildfires? Your project's success depends on the answer.